Right, so we're back to the Stereomaster 2400. So the chassis is ready to go back in. There we are. That feeds through from the front. So I just need to thread the mains lead. It's also where we could do with an assistant. So it locates in some pegs in the bottom, and that it has done. Now before I screw that in, I think it would be very sensible to solder those speaker wires in and everything else that needs soldering, like the pickup. So that's something we'll get on with. Right, I'll pause the camera while we do that. Okay, so they're back. I found it best to withdraw the chassis a bit and solder them with it not in this position. Very difficult to get to the centre connection, the earth connection. Those will tuck back in the holes when we're done. That's soldered in the correct position. Now, he mentioned something about the speakers on this. Something about the tweeter coming unmounted or something. Now, I can't say I've ever been inside the speaker compartment of one of these. So, we'll take the screws out. I don't know which channel it was. And we'll have a quick look. Now, these don't look like the original screws. Put the camera upwards so we can actually see what I'm playing at when we get there. What has happened is the spire clips have become attracted to the woofer. I'll leave those off for now, I think. I'll put that one on top so we know which one it is. So that spire clip needs to go there. Right, we better have a look at the bottom one. These aren't like the 2419 where the speakers are always, the best word is knackered, with the foam surrounds gone. Now that one's fine. So I will just make sure the tweeters are working because of the capacitors there, which are non-polarised electrolytics, which can fail. I have had that happen before now. So I'll just put that in there for now. Put the screws to one side. We've got a spire clip too many. How can that happen? That's unbelievable. We've got one left over because they were attracted to the... It must have happened during manufacture. We've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there. We've got all the spire clips in place here. So we've got a surplus spire clip. Oh well. But potentially that can rattle, can't it, when you're playing the music? So have we come up against a fault from new? I did a pi valve radiogram a few years ago, and there was actually a hole in the speaker where they'd screwed it in and damaged the cone of the speaker, and it was like that from new. My cure was to glue tissue paper, toilet paper, onto the hole, and there we go. Okay. We'll take that out. I'll put RH on that. I'll put LH on that. We'll put it the right way on, and we'll see whether anything works. Right, we'll put the screw cases in. Case screws, whatever you want to call them. We'll just bring back Henry the vacuum cleaner. There's just a little bit of dust inside that record turntable there, so I'll just go and plug him in. Right, we'll plug the unit in. Now, here's the scary bit. Did the HMV Stereomaster 2412, I did the Y one for the same customer. And both of them had issues with the cartridge. And, you know, it's something he's going to have to change. So let's see what happens. Well, I'll tell you what, that sounds like it works. I can't remember whether we took this stylus out and checked it. I'm sure we did. Right, we'll put the platter back. Just check the thing actually runs. It does. So I won't bother putting the clip back in yet. So put the auto spindle back. Which is actually partly held in place with the clip, so that's going to be a bit iffy. So I'm going to run it through a cycle. Well, that's not doing very well at all. I think we need to look at some of the lubrication underneath on this. Okay, so with a 10-inch record, can we do 10-inch records on this? I don't know that we can. I've never tried that. So let's see what happens if we put this 10-inch record on. Yeah, it's struggling with the mechanism, so I'll tell you what, it does know it's a 10-inch record. Excellent. We'll do some lubrication underneath. I noticed I've still got the transit screws in. So we've got a cartridge working on both channels. So I'm really relieved about that for the customer, because they're such an expense if we start having to change a cartridge. So it put down perfectly on that 10-inch record without me having to adjust anything. But we will check it with a 7 and with a 12. That'll be a mono record. I don't think there's anything amiss underneath, so I think we can safely put this clip back in. Okay. Right, we'll lift it back up and make sure the clip that holds the tone arm is in place. Switch it off and I'll just have a look at what's happening underneath. Use the 3-in-1 oil that I normally use, but in a aerosol format. It's just some of these bits here where there has been grease in the past. Hopefully that's all it needs, because it won't have been used for donkey's years in auto. Now the other thing we can do is put that P-clip back. Especially if we knew where it was. Right, we'll come back to that. So what I will do is I'll put this right hand channel cover back on. I've done the left hand channel. Need to tuck that wire in first, because once you put that screw in, that kind of restricts that movement of that wire. So you see I'm putting them in kind of loosely first, because I want to make sure that they're all going into the spire clips. So I'll now tighten them up a bit more so they're snug, and then we'll tighten them properly at the end. You do need to have these lids on to play it at any volume, or you end up damaging the speakers. I'm not going to put that bottom on. Okay, I'll go and get another record. You can see how bent this record is. I don't think that's even playable. Anyway, Fleetwood Mac, Oh Well, Part 1. So we'll try playing Part 2. It once belonged to Pauline Bradley. I don't think this is going to play. So we'll set it to 45. See what happens. don't think I've got a better copy of that, which is why I've kept it. So yes, it's put down in the right place, and I'm surprised that it played anything with that. And you can see straight away, as soon as I've applied that oil to the underside, we've cured the problem with the sluggish action. I really need to do these transit screws as well. So I'll go and get a 12-inch record. Some of you know I have a collection of Reader's Digest box sets which are actually worthless. So someone on a tight budget like me can get a good collection going of worthless stuff. We actually have them on memory card, bit by bit. The ones with the white labels you'll see have been recorded onto SD card, and we're up to the one that you can see on the third row. We're up to the one about third from the left, and we're moving forwards, doing one record a night. And it plays random on the Tannoy background music system, which we have here over 22 loudspeakers. It's a bit of fun, and you don't know whether you're going to be ending up with a track, because I'm playing them random. You don't know whether it's going to be grand opera or pop music or classical or anything in between. So the next record I'm on with, let's just move the camera around. The record I'm actually on with is this. Your 101 favourite melodies, Gaiety in Grandeur. That's when the first word meant something different to what it does these days. And it's a Mahler piece, so we'll start with that. Okay, so let's put that on. Putting him down in the correct place. You're supposed to play these with the lid down so you're not hearing the treble coming from squeaking out of the stylus. It's a bit boomy with it being on this table rather than its proper legs, but that's working absolutely beautifully. Now I'm not going to clean these bass and treble controls and things because it's usable. There is that little bit of crackle, but the danger if you start doing that is you're going to chase out the lubricants. And it's not like there's a bad spot or anything, so we're going to leave that. These are being manually cleaned, these other controls, as you know how to strip it down. So I think that's sounding absolutely fab and brill. I'll let that play to the end and then it can do its auto stop. We're going to run quite a few. I'll put a stack of records on and we'll actually run it for about 12 hours. I need those lubricants to work in because I noticed it was still a little sluggish at that slower speed. So there we have it, the HMV Stereomaster 2400 from 1968-1969 with all the capacitors changed in the chassis and hopefully the record turntable overhauled as well with some lubrication. Thanks for watching.